Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Infinite Crypto Cruisers. Hey there, folks. My name is Brad Varnell, and this is the Infinite Crypto YouTube channel. And to say that I am excited for today is an understatement. For those of you that have been watching my channel for a while, you've seen all of the crazy things that have happened. We're talking about the countdown timer not working, my screen freezing up, my camera turning off. I mean, it's been kind of a crazy, especially this last month or so. It seemed like just difficulty after technical difficulty after technical difficulty. Hopefully, I'm not jinxing myself today. But as some of you may know and some of you may not know, I've got a brand new system. I've got a new camera. I've got a dual system monitor system. The only thing I don't love about this system so far is that I'm used to kind of being able to see myself, where the monitor directly in front of me is all for sharing my screens and showing you guys. I'm actually off to the left here, so I can kind of barely see myself in the peripheral vision. I got to make sure that I stay focused on the camera, because if I look at this screen, then all you guys get is the big old side view of this head of mine. So other than that, though, I do love it. I can share my whole screen, so it's really easy to flip through the tabs. But one of the most exciting things, folks, is that I can actually flip through the tabs and they load almost instantly. And so I am excited to have you here. Thank you for all being here in the chat. Hope you guys are all having a fantastic Tuesday. And I'm excited to really share some incredible information with you guys today. I hope that by the end of this live stream, you are equipped to go out and, start making some trades, be dangerous in this trading world. And by being dangerous, I don't mean that you're going to have it all down, that you're going to figure it all out. I was listening to crypto lifer Sam Price a little bit earlier today, and he talked about how, he lost money for a couple, 2 or 3 years while he was learning to trade. And that was why it was so important for him to have a job. I'm hoping that we can cut our learning curve down. And I'm hoping that by being, somewhat on the conservative side, and with the ladders and the different things that we do to try to keep ourselves from getting liquidated, that hopefully we can win a little bit quicker. But I really like something that he said on his stream, and that was, if somebody tells you it's going to be easy, run. And I agree with him 1,000% on that. There's a lot of stuff in crypto that's simple, but very little of it is easy. It definitely takes some hard work, some dedication. And, that's one of the reasons why not very many people actually make it in crypto. Crypto is one of those things where I believe 100% of people that are committed to it could be successful, but very few are. And there's a lot of different reasons there. But let's hop over here into the chat. We got everybody, saying inner circle. So let me pop this up here real quick. One of the reasons that I chose the inner circle today here, let me do a couple of things here. First, let's get rid of this. There, get rid of that. We don't need that anymore. And then let's pop this up and see if we can get the, there we go. So this is our private mastermind. And over the last handful of months, we've kind of gotten away from it a little bit. And it really, it hadn't metamorphosed into what I had envisioned it at. But I got some incredible news. My filmographer, my editor, my number one go-to guy, William, has had a full-time job, and then he's worked for the YouTube channel as many hours as he could possibly squeeze in. But recently we had a discussion, and it looks like he's going to be coming on board full-time. I've also got a gentleman that's been working very hard with me for a few months now, named Daniel, that's going to be doing a dual role. He's going to be still reaching out to projects and helping me schedule these interviews and some of the stuff, like the interview that we did for IX swap today. We did a live stream this morning at 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you haven't watched that, it was fantastic. But Daniel was the one that reached out to them and connected me with them. He's still going to do that, but he's also going to take over a bunch of social media management type of activities. So I feel like the channel is really ramping up and getting higher and higher quality and giving you guys what you deserve. You know, to be totally transparent, there's been times where I felt like for as many subs as I have and as much as, you know, as much as I've got going on, like the channel, the quality of the channel just hasn't been up to par. And I apologize for that. That's on me, but it's getting better every day. And so this new setup's going to be incredible. When I get over to the BYDFi website and we start clicking through stuff, I think you guys are going to be excited about how fast it is, how there's no lag. And then, like I said, we've got new team members coming up. But the reason that I put this up here is if you go to realinfinitecrypto.com and go to the website, right now you can join our inner circle, our private mastermind group for free. It's $97 a month, but you get your first month free and there's no commitment. There's no contract. You can cancel anytime. I will tell you this, I have pretty much 100% retention. And that's not as much because the inner circle is so amazing as it is because the people that are in the inner circle are amazing. But I do believe that you guys are going to be getting every penny's worth of $97 a month from that Infinite Crypto private group, the mastermind group. And we're getting rid of the free month. So part of the reason I wanted to talk about this real quick, folks, if you want a free month, go do it now. The only reason that that's even still there is because William hasn't had a chance to change it. We are going to still do a little bit of a discounted version. It's probably going to be somewhere around 20 or 25 bucks for your first month. Part of the reason for that, folks, it's the craziest thing in the world. And you'll see this in business. If you do any business yourself, people don't respect free. The one thing that I have noticed over the last handful of months is the people that have signed up for free are usually the ones that have participated the least. The ones that get the biggest discount participate the least. The ones that pay the $97 a month, they show up for every inner circle mastermind group, they participate, and so on and so forth. So one of the reasons I'm getting rid of the free is because the difference between free and 20 bucks doesn't change my life. It's not the 20 bucks, but what I found is anytime somebody pays something to be a part of something, they participate a bunch more. But in the interim, for those of you that would like to check it out and get a free month in there, go to realinfinitecrypto.com. The code is right there on the website and just sign up. And once again, if you don't want to continue after your first month, no worries, no harm. I'm totally okay with that, but I would love for you guys to go experience it and get it for free. And then I do want to pop off of here and get back onto our incredible, sponsor. BYDFi is an incredible sponsor of the channel. They've got a really impressive exchange, in my opinion. No KYC, no VPN needed for American citizens, Canadian citizens, like pretty much, as I always say, BYDFi is available to the whole world except for restricted countries like, Cuba and Iran and, places that nobody really does business with for the most part. So anywhere that you live in the world, just about, you can go create your BYDFi account. And with that, let's pop over here to this view here. And this is what you're going to see when you click that link. And this is how easy it is. You enter your email address, you enter a password. This is already in here because because you're signing up. My code is up here, this EQZ3FZ. You're gonna hit get started. After you get started, you probably have to go into your email and confirm that that's your email, and then you're in. And that's it. That's all you got to do. And the other reason that you want to do that, folks, well, there's a couple reasons. One, I think that because I'm trading on this platform and you're going to see how I use everything, it'll be much easier for you to do your trading on this platform. So even if you're used to trading on MEXC or some other platform, I would highly encourage you to get this account and at least put a little bit of your trading funds into this account. And the second thing is, in order to qualify for all of the giveaways, I do a lot of giveaways, not on every single video, but I do a lot of giveaways. And one of the ways, the way that I give tokens, or the way that I do my giveaways the most often, is through Bydfi. They allow me to send funds to you guys absolutely for free. And so that's what I do. And just to give you guys an idea, so every once in a while, I do get some people on here that think these are fake giveaways, that are like I'm just giving the money to myself or something. So I do want to bring up something real fast, even though I don't feel like I really should have to prove it to you guys. Those of you that have been around for a while know that that I'm where to go? Oh, that's the wrong one. Excuse me. Let me go to my spot account here. And then I want to share with you guys, if I go over here to like USDT and hit send, you guys can see here, oh, why did those fail? Okay, I got to resend those. I don't understand why that requires KYC. Interesting. I'm not 100% sure what happened there. I'll get it figured out. But you can see here, folks, these are all of the giveaways that I've been doing, 25, 25, 25, 25, 50. And this is only just for the last few days. There's actually, quite a bit more. But long story short, I got to figure out why these two are saying KYC is necessary. It must be from the country that they're in. Now, I know that in United States and Canada, you don't need to KYC, but maybe there are some countries where KYC is required. I'll get in touch with those winners from today's earlier live stream and figure out a different way to get some funds to them. But in general, that's, a couple of the reasons why you want to have a Bydfi account. And then the other thing would be is I would love, we're sitting at about 91 of you that have created a Bydfi account. I need 9 people to create Bydfi accounts to get up to 100. Let's see if we can do that today during the stream. So instead of waiting around to see if you win and then going and creating your account, why don't you just go ahead and create your account on the assumption that you are going to win today. If you don't win today, you don't have to worry about setting up your account tomorrow if you win. And because once you get your account set up, you'll actually be able to go through the motions and follow along as I do the trading. So that's enough shameless plugs. But I hope to see a handful of you in the inner circle. Together, team stands for together, everyone achieves more. One of the reasons that I love the inner circle is it's not just me in there talking, kind of like it is on these live streams. The inner circle is interactive, and you guys are able to ask questions and give comments, and it's in a Zoom type of a format where you can literally unmute your mic and talk. And so it gives us collectively, there's so much more brain power and so much more intelligence in that inner circle than there is just on my YouTube channel. I appreciate the fact that you guys like me and respect me and believe that I can help, you create a better financial future. But these inner circle masterminds are just absolutely 10 times more valuable even than just being on a YouTube video like this. So we'll see. I'm also kind of curious to see if anybody that ever watches this channel actually does anything that I ask you to. The reason I say that is I was noticing too, like one of the reasons that I made it, that I'm kind of predicating the giveaway on how many people actually liked the video, is because I was noticing today, I did a live stream earlier, like I mentioned, at 6 o'clock this morning. I'm seeing that there was, I forget, 300, 400 views, and there's only 26 likes. So folks, like, it's totally free to like the video. And I don't know if you guys understand how powerful that free like is to me. So like the only thing that you guys, that I ask of you, I mean, like if you want to do a super chat sometimes, I'm okay with super chats. But for the most part, the only thing that I really ask from you guys, if you get value out of these live streams, is to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. But if you didn't know it, the YouTube algorithm picks up on those likes. So if there's 25 people in here and we get 20, 21, 22, 25 likes, that's actually more powerful in some ways for the YouTube algorithm than somebody that's got 1,000 views, but he's only got 100 likes. Because in that scenario, he's only got 10% of the people liking the content, where in my scenario, I've got 80 or 90%. So it's super important to hit that like button if you're on here. It's totally free. And I know sometimes you got to be reminded. Don't get me wrong. I watch videos and I forget to hit the like button. That's why as influencers, we try to remind you, because there's been many times in my life where I'm 5-10 minutes into a video, and then all of a sudden whoever I'm listening to will say, hey, by the way, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that like button. And I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot to do that, and I hit the like button. So but for those of you that never hit the like button, I just wanted to point out why it's so important and why it's so appreciated, especially while this is live. The YouTube algorithm will actually pump this out and suggest it to new people during the live. So we got 2 hours on these live streams, 2 hours, to really try to capture more views and more subscribers and build the channel. And the more you guys smash that like button, the more people you will start to see here on the live stream. So like right now on the screen I'm looking at, I see 19. I don't know if that's accurate, but when I was on my live stream earlier today, to give you an idea, I looked over, it was 19. And then about 10, 15 minutes later, it was at 35. And then it was at 77, and so on and so forth. And I know that a lot of those views on that live stream came from new viewers because people were hitting that like button. So long story short, as we get towards the end of this video, I'm going to go back and click over on the YouTube video portion. Right now I'm on my StreamYard, but I'm going to go to the YouTube video and see how many likes we have. And that's going to determine, you know, what I end up doing as far as a giveaway. Now, to be eligible for the giveaway, go ahead and type in #InnerCircle. That's what we're using to use, you know, for the random number generator when we do pick the winners. But the number of winners and how much I give away is going to be predicated on the number of likes. So with that, oh, and the other thing, just to get the housekeeping out of the way, is you got to be here in order to win. So if you typed in #InnerCircle, but then you get tired of listening to my voice and you click off the live stream, and then you end up winning at the end, if you're not here to let us know that you're still here in the chat, then we'll go on and pick another winner. So with that, folks, let's get right into it here. We're going to go over to so let me start off here. So when you first get to BYDFi, I'm going to click kind of here and hope that it just kind of takes me back to the home page. Nope, that ain't working. Okay, when you get to BYDFi, and let's go just kind of to the spot account. So when you're first in your BYDFi account, you're going to have the ability, you're going to have to deposit some funds. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is go up here, you know, and hit deposit. So whether it's, you know, ETH, USDT, whatever you want to deposit, you want to go up here and hit that. Where to go? Here we go. So you want to, you know, hit deposit, withdraw, transfer. You can look at your spot account, so on and so forth. You're going to want to go to deposit and then pick your coin. And that's, did you guys see how quick that transitioned? Like I say, man, this computer is amazing. I'm really loving this. But let's say that you want to deposit USDT. Great. Then you go pick the network that you want to deposit on. You can see here, you can deposit it on Ethereum, Arbitron, you know, TRX20, Binance Smart Chain, Solana, Matic, many different networks. If say you wanted to deposit ETH, you just go here and click on ETH. Same thing, pick out the deposit. And once you do that, it's going to, you know, once you do that, let's say ETH, it's going to generate an address here for you. Copy this address, send that, you know, go to your MetaMask or wherever you're sending funds from, and use that address to deposit funds into the platform. Now, in this case, I just deposited some Ethereum, and we want some USDT in order to do some trading. So if you want to convert one of your tokens into USDT, you just simply go over here to markets, click that tab. That's going to pull up, you know, you got your spot, you got your favorites, whatever you want to do here. We want to trade some ETH, so we're going to hit trade. And then just like a normal exchange, you pretty much do everything that you want to do. We want to sell some Ethereum, so we're going to go over here and hit sell. And I just want about, I don't know, $300, $400, $500 worth. So let's see, that would be, let's see how much 0.02 is. No, that's what, wait, it's not, let's get rid of the first zero. 0.02 is $562. Let's go 0.18. That's pretty close to $500. So let's sell ETH, and we're at what, 2181 here ish. So we'll hit 2181, hit sell, and boom, just like that. You can see I don't even have any open orders, so it executed. So now if we go back here to my spot account, you'll be able to see that I've got, you know, a little bit less ETH, $900 in ETH, and about, well, and then it's $597 in USDT. So I'm going to try to, just going through the comments here. I want to make sure. So Lloyd, I'm assuming you were one of the last people I sent, and I was just showing on here, if you go to, let me show you this real quick. I'm not 100% sure why this is, Lloyd, but let me show you something here real quick. You'll be able to verify that this was your number here. But so if we go to, oops, why do I keep doing that? I want to go to spot, and then I want to go to USDT, and when I hit transfer, where did my transfer button go? Like, something is weird here, guys. I'm not sure what the problem is. I was just showing you guys this here a second ago. Let me go, when I hit send, it shows here, and then, okay, here's, so I want to transfer to UID number. Where are all of a sudden my UID numbers going at? Why did this not work? Anyways, Lloyd, I tried to send it to you. It told me that KYC was needed. So long story short, I'll get it figured out. I don't know exactly what the problem is. You can connect with me on Telegram or Discord, and we'll get it situated. You'll definitely get the $25 that you won earlier. I don't know why it didn't send to you already. I apologize for that. Bear with me, but you definitely were a winner. And I thought I had all 4 of you paid, but 2 of you got paid, and 2 of you are showing up as it failed for some reason. So I'll get that figured out. So anyways, let's go on with the show. See here what we got going on. Lloyd, seriously, brother, are you kidding me? Like, it's $25. I'm going to get it to you. I'm going to also kick you off the stream here if you mention it again. Oh my God, I can't believe it. This is exactly why I don't like doing giveaways sometimes. It's unbelievable to me how much people, how worried they are over, you know, $25. Holy smokes, man. Unbelievable. So with that, guys, let's get over here to the derivatives side of the channel so that you guys can actually see how it actually takes place here, and how you actually can make some of these trades. Oh, I'm all discombobulated today. What do we got here? Already been going for a half an hour. I haven't said anything yet. So right here, this is the Bitcoin perpetual trading system. You can see Bitcoin has had a little bit of a decline over, you know, the last hour or so. I know that there's an event happening. I forget if it was at 2 o'clock. I forget the name of the guy all of a sudden too. There's somebody that is supposed to be getting online, some famous guy, crypto something. I'm sure some of you guys know who I'm talking about or what I'm trying to say, but I can't think of his name all of a sudden, but there's some famous crypto guy, Crypto Rufus or Crypto something. that's supposed to come on and talk about Bitcoin a little bit later today. And most of the world believes that he's going to say a bunch of good stuff about Bitcoin and that there's a relatively decent chance that Bitcoin is going to pop. And then on a stream that I was looking at earlier, I can see where a lot of people have shorted the market since they've shorted the market, and that there's a bunch of people that are going to get liquidated if Bitcoin goes up to a little over 102,000. A ton of these shorts are going to get liquidated, which is going to push the price up even higher. So there's some potential, definitely some potential to see, you know, Bitcoin up above 102,000 sometime today. Now, as we know, whenever we're waiting on something like this, an event, somebody to come on, we could, you know, get totally duped. This guy could come onto the channel or come on, you know, and say what he's going to say and totally, you know, tank the market, you know, too, if depending on if he doesn't say what we all are hoping or think he's going to say. Whew, excuse me. I keep feeling like I got a sneeze coming on. So, you know, we never want to go too bullish on news like that, just like on days where the feds are going to be talking and we think that there's going to be a rate cut and we think that it's going to be, you know, a big pump in the market after the feds come on and then they don't say what we want them to say. It's always safer to wait, you know, for the news unless you really have a strong opinion, some insider information, and, you know, and if you are trading properly and you've got some stop losses in place and that type of thing, then it really doesn't, you know, then you're not affected as much. But I guess, you know, the one thing that I'm finding with this trading system that I'm trying to teach you guys is that it's not necessarily complicated, but it takes a little while to try to explain it, if you will. And so for those of you that have heard me explain how it works 10 times, you probably get tired of hearing it. But you got to remember, for all of the new people that are on the channel that don't understand what in the world is he talking about, the Varnell trading system, folks, I decided about 6 months ago that I wanted to do something a little bit different. Rather than trying to jump in the market, jump out of the market, jump in, jump out, jump in, jump out, short the market today, long the market tomorrow, while there's nothing wrong with that, I think it's a very, very small percentage of the human population that is actually good enough at reading this charts and understanding where the market is going to go that can be successful at doing that. And so one of the things that we do is we try to place some longer term trades and then protect ourselves from getting liquidated by backing them up. So I'm going to give you guys just the quick, you know, 30-second interview or overview, 30-second overview that'll probably take me 5 minutes. But in a nutshell, let's just say Bitcoin right now, we're going to call Bitcoin 100 grand. It's not 100 grand. It's 90, 89, 9, whatever, 90, you know, 89, 9, 99,000, not 100, but let's just say it's 100,000 for, you know, for even math. So I did pull up this basic calculator because I was hoping instead of just showing it to, you know, showing you guys by my words, that you would get an understanding of this. So let's just say that we've got $100,000 Bitcoin. And we want to place a 10x leverage trade. What would our liquidation point be? Well, in order to figure that out, you have to figure out what times your leverage number is 100. So if you were using 3x leverage, 3 times 33.3 would be 100. If you're using 5x leverage, 5 times 20 is 100. If you're using 10x leverage, 10 times 10 is 100. So 10% times 10 is 100. So if your Bitcoin were to drop by 10% times the 10x leverage, you would get liquidated. So in that case, that's basically, you know, 10% of 100,000 is 90 grand. So if Bitcoin went from 100 grand down to 90 grand, you would get liquidated if you were longing Bitcoin with 10x leverage at 100 grand. You would get liquidated if it dropped back to 90 grand. Now, on the flip side, if you only had 5x leverage, 5 times 20 is 100. So you have 20 grand that it would have to drop. If Bitcoin dropped from 100 down to 80 and you had a 5x leverage trade in, your liquidation price would be 80,000. So if right now you went in, and we're going to place some trades, if you went in and placed a trade on Bitcoin right now at 99 with 5x leverage, Bitcoin would have to drop all the way down to around 80 for you to get liquidated. And once again, it would have to drop down to about 90 for you to get liquidated. So knowing that is part of what goes into the strategy that we employ. So I showed it to you on Bitcoin, but more often than not, we're doing it on altcoins because Bitcoin's going to go up and it's going to go down a lot less volatile than a lot of the actual, regular cryptos. So I'll give you an example. Hedera, HBAR, one of my favorite tokens in this market to long. I know that old Pablo Noodles is in a trade. I don't know if he's still in it or not, but he was in this trade on HBAR way back when it was probably, 7, 8, 9, 10 cents. And he's ridden it all the way up. He was telling me that like a $50 trade was worth, I think he was saying it was $1,800 or something like that. I mean, it's a significant little jump because he got in back when we first started talking about this strategy back 3 months ago, 4 months ago, 5 months ago. But let's take a peek here. You can see here that HBAR is down 14% over the last 30 days, 22% just in the last handful of days. But let's look at this chart. I want to show you what I'm looking for. All right, let's see here. We've got the 3-month chart. So if you can see here, when this thing had the crazy dip a couple of days ago, February 2nd, or I guess it was just a few days ago, this thing dropped all the way down to 22 cents. Now on BUIDL, it actually had a wick down to around 17 or 18 cents. That would have been a fantastic place to be able to place one of these longs. But long story short, no pun intended, I actually had a trade in on this token HBAR at 25.25, so 0.2525, and it ran all the way up to 31, 32 cents, and some things came up, and I ended up cashing out of that. But I'm looking, this is one of the tokens that I'm going to get back in. So you can see if we go all the way back, this right here takes us all the way back to December. And then if you go, a little bit further, we go all the way back here into November. We're talking about it was all the way down at 13 cents. But since all of the new things that have happened in crypto over the last couple of months, you can see that right in here, this 20-cent range is pretty close, to its low. If you look at this dip here, when we had the dip back in January 13th, it went down to 26. I'm trying to find the December 10th. Here's January 1st. December 10th is probably here. No, that's December 20th. So December 20th was another day where we had a pretty big dip in the market and altcoins went down pretty significantly. Like you can see here, it was all the way up at 36 cents on December 6th. And then by December 10th, it dropped all the way down to 26, 27. And then it dropped here on the 20th all the way down to 25-ish. And then you can see once again here just a couple of days ago, it dropped all the way down to like 22. My point is, if we're looking at some math, if you take 25.87 times 10% would give you, well, let's just call it 2.5 cents. So if we were to go do a 10x trade, a trade with 10x leverage, my first liquidation point would be about 2.5 cents lower than where it is now, which would call it, if it's at 2.6, we round it up to 2.6 minus 2.5 would take us down to what, 23 and a half? Yeah, about 23 and a half. And then if you did another trade at 23.5 and got another 10%, that 23.5 would take you all the way down under, say, about 21. So with a couple of, you could put in a trade, and then with a couple of ladder trades, you could protect this trade all the way down to around 21. And so that's kind of what we're looking for. If you wanted to be more careful, you can literally post a trade. You can post a trade for 5x leverage. So now you're looking at 20% of 25 is 5 cents. So you literally, your liquidation price, if you did just 5x leverage, would take you all the way down to around 20 cents. And then if you do a ladder at 20, that takes you down to about 16. So if you wanted to be really careful, not worry about getting liquidated unless something really catastrophic in the markets happened, you could go do this trade with 5x leverage. And maybe we'll take a peek at that and see what that looks like. But one of the reasons that we're doing these, folks, let's just go over here right now, pull up HBAR and take a peek at a trade here. So we pull up HBAR. Oop. Come on. All right. So we pull up HBAR and we want to make a trade. First thing that we want to do is look at this. We see that right now this is on isolated. I prefer isolated for my trades, and it's already set to 10x leverage. If you want to make it 5x, you use your mouse here, scroll it back to 5. If you wanted to do higher, you can go up to 50. But we just want to do, I'm going to do 10 for my own risk tolerance. I'm comfortable with 10. I have a feeling that we're going to, pump up and go to the upside. That's my hunch. That's what I'm seeing when I look at the charts. That's what I believe is going to happen. Once again, I could be wrong. If you got information and you think that this thing's going to tank, then you could do the same thing the opposite way around. You could short the token and do the same thing. But I'm going to go here. We're looking at isolated 10x. And then I want to just put in, we got the other thing that you got to do is you got to transfer some USDT over to your account here. And the way that you do that is click on this button. You can see here where it'll say from spot to USDT, which is the where the wallet that we want it to go to. And I don't want to do all of it right now. I just want to do 100. So we're going to do $100 and confirm. All right, I'm going to address this one more time really quick. Lloyd, did you not hear anything that I said? I told you 5 minutes ago, I tried to send you the funds, and for some reason, they did not go through. After this stream is over, I will figure out why, and I will get them sent to you. And if for some reason I can't use BYDFi, then I'll send it to your MetaMask wallet or some other address. But I promise you, you're going to get paid. I've been around for a long time. I've got over 200,000 subs. I'm not going to rob you out of 25 bucks. But this is not the time or the place to flood the channel worrying about it. So if you'd like to get paid, just enjoy the stream, and I'll get in touch with you after the stream is over. Okay, so let's go do this. We got $100 in the account, and the price right now is about 25,738. We'll do 25,742. We're going to do basically 100%. Hit the long button and hit confirm. And boom, there we are. So it automatically executed. You can see here I got in at 25730 was the cost that I got in at. Here's my liquidation. My liquidation price in the yellow is at 23 23,428, and right now it just popped up to 25,749. So you can see your profit and loss here in USDT as this goes up. So with that, excuse me for just a quick second here, guys. Let me see something here. How do I do? All right. So I guess I was bluffing. Here we go. Boom. All right. We no longer have to worry about Lloyd messaging in the chat. Seriously, guys, it drives me crazy. Like, I love you all, and I love doing the giveaways, but that stuff just drives me crazy. I apologize that I hadn't been able to get it sent sooner. Those of you that were on the stream earlier saw where I pulled up the page, and it showed that for some reason the transaction failed. But obviously, once again, just this is not the time or the place to, to be worrying about it. So here we go. We've got the HBAR trade in. Now we want to protect this trade in case we get some bad news in the market and the trade starts to go backwards a little ways. We know that our next liquidation price here is at 23428. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go right back up here, and I'm going to adjust this price manually instead of going by the price where it's at. We wanted 23428, so we don't want to do like exactly 23428, because if the market's coming down too fast, we could potentially get liquidated because it went down too fast. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to what, 23428. We'll go to 2346. So we're going to go to 234. In fact, we'll just go to 23475. Nice little number there. And we're going to place another trade. Now, before we do that, I forgot I only did 100. I did that on purpose because it goes by percentages. So now I'm going to do a $200 trade. So we're going to transfer 200 more over. And boom, just like that, we've got 200 here in our account. We want to do a $200 trade at 23475. Still on the isolated 10X, so we're going to hit long. Oh, we got to pull that over. There we go. We're going to go long, and then we're going to confirm. And boom, success. So now, folks, if we go over here to our orders page, you can see here that now we have this order, and it's just sitting here. It hasn't been executed, but you can see here at 23475. If the price were to drop down to that, then we would have a $200 trade go in. And if any of you are wondering why we're doing, a $200 trade on the second trade when we only did 100, that's because we want to make sure that we get a full 10%. So, I mean, I think you guys will understand this. If you do a trade, say a $100 trade at $1, and then you do a $100 trade at 90 cents, technically your dollar cost average is 95 cents. So in order to get close to another 10%, so instead of our new liquidation price being this 23475, it's going to be all the way down around 21 cents. But if we only did another 100, well, then our liquidation price would probably be at like 22.5 or 22.75. It would give us a little bit of room below the 23.45, but it wouldn't give us a full 10%. So having said that, if I wanted to back this trade up with another trade, I would go down to like around 21-ish. And now I would do about a $400 trade at 21. So one of the things that you got to be careful about when you're doing these trades is you want to start off at the level that you're comfortable backing them up. So let's say that I wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to get liquidated until I was all the way under 20 cents. Well, then I got 100 on the first trade, 200 on the second trade. The third trade for 400 should get me under 20, but now I've got $700 tied up in that trade. So what you want to do is look at your bankroll, look at how many tokens you want to do this with, and then kind of divide it up. So for instance, let's say that you had a $500 bankroll that you wanted to do on these trades. Well, you might only do, say, $10 on the first trade, 20 on the second, and then 40 on the third. So you're putting in $70. Now you could do that with 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tokens with a $500 bill. And so you have to decide, at what comfort level you are. There's a lot of people that start off doing these $10, $25, and then ladder in. There's people doing 100 now. There's people doing 1,000. Like literally, if I was going to do this with $1,000, I would do 1,000 on the first trade, 2,000 on the second trade, 4,000 on the third trade. So I would need $7,000 right from the get-go. But now let me give you the reason why we do this. So I believe that HBAR is going to be a $3, $5, $7 token during some point in time during this bull market. So if we go over here where you can see here we go to positions again. If you go over here and you look at this TP/SL, take profit stop loss, and you click on this, then you can basically see at what point in time you're going to make how much money. So I want to give you guys an idea. This was a $100 trade. Let's just say that HBAR goes to $1. At $1 HBAR, this trade is worth $2,943. So I'm making a 29x if HBAR goes from 25 cents to a buck. How much do you make if you just buy HBAR spot right now and it goes to $1? You make a 4x. So this gives people, especially that don't have huge amounts of money, if you got 5, 10 grand and you just want to go out and buy $10,000 worth of HBAR spot, and then you're excited if it goes up to $1, $3, $5, awesome. But if you're trying to figure out, especially if you feel like you're a little bit behind behind the 8 ball, maybe you don't have as much money invested in the market as you would like, this gives you an opportunity to make 20, 50, 100, 150x on some of these tokens. Even if HBAR went all the way to $5, what is that, a 20x from 25 cents? So if you had, $100 put into HBAR right now and it went up to $5, you'd have roughly 2 grand. Well, watch what happens here if HBAR goes up to $5. You would have $18,795 from a $100 trade. And I'm a firm believer that HBAR is going to go up $3, $5, $7. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of when. And so the whole goal behind these trades is keep them in play long term, not to get scared and then not to get crushed off. So what's 30% of 25 cents? 30 times 25 is what, 7.5? Yeah, so 7.5 cents would be a 30% decline from a quarter. What's 7.5 cents from 25? 17.50. So I would probably want to get myself in a position to where I was safe down to about 17.50. And that's part of the reason that I'm recommending. There's probably a lot of you watching this. They should probably just do this with 5x leverage, because you can get down underneath 17 cents with 2 trades. And so especially if money is a little tight, then 5x might be a smarter way to go. The other thing is, look at it this way. Like I did 20x leverage or 10x leverage on 100. You could also do 5x leverage on 200 and get pretty close to the same, amount of gains as me in a lot of ways, because you're investing double the money. So but if you invest 200 and then you invest 400 at 20 cents, you're still in at 600. I'd be in at 700 but I'd be in 2 ladders. So you can play with this. This is not an exact science. You could do 3x leverage. You could do 7x leverage if you wanted to, and you really want it. I mean, you could do 10x or 20 or 25x. The thing about a 25x leverage trade is you can't really leave it in play long term. Like if I had this today, was really super sure that this thing was going to go crazy, and I had a 25x leverage trade in, and I was right, and all of a sudden this token was worth, 30, 35 cents, and I'm up a significant amount of money. And I also know that volatility wise, it's very easy for it to drop from 35 cents back to 20 something cents. I would probably want to take my profits on that trade, where with these trades, I'm happy to let this run for a longer period of time. When it gets up to $1, as Paul and I were talking about, when he did his HBAR trade back at 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 cents, whatever it was, he's really comfortable at this point that thing is not gonna ever go back and liquidate, unless it was like all the way, if he waited all the way to the peak of the bear market, and then he waited all the way to the bottom of the next, or if he waited till the peak of the bull market, and then he came and waited all the way down to the bottom of the next bear market, then maybe this trade that he did back in September would get liquidated. But in the meantime, he's got no worries that it's going up to 50 cents, $1, $2, $3. I don't know how long he's going to decide, to leave it in play. But my point is, he put himself in a position where he can let this thing ride if he wants to for the next 2 or 3 months, and wait for it to get up to $3, $4, $5 a token, and make a pretty spectacular amount of money off of a $50 bill. And so with that, let's run into the chat. I'm not seeing any new chat for a while. Did I turn off the chat? I haven't seen anything except for this one. This is the last chat I'm seeing on my stream. That's the last chat. And anybody said anything since, or is my computer freezing up on me? Kind of weird. Like you guys were doing the inner circles real steady, and then all of a sudden I'm not seeing anything again on my chat. So I don't know if my computer is goofing up on me, or if you guys just ain't typing anything in on the chat. Somebody type something in on the chat for me so I can see if the chat is moving. There we go. That's all. Okay. Everybody log out on me. You guys still with me? Do you have any questions? This is a great time. If you have any questions about what I'm talking about, please feel free to throw them in the chat. I'm happy to answer any questions. The other thing is if you are an experienced trader and you're watching me and you're looking at this and you're going like, man, this is the dumbest strategy I ever seen in my life, I would love to hear why you think that, or what you see, in this strategy that you don't like. Now, the one thing that I have found over the last few months is that you really do have to have these ladders in place. If you don't have the ladders in place, then you need stop losses. So for instance, the way that a lot of traders would go in is they go in and they hit this stop loss, take profit button, and they don't necessarily care about the take profit. They'll move it up, but like you can do a stop loss price. So if we type in, we were 0. Let's just say we do 2.4. So you can see here at 2.4 cents, this would trigger the stop loss, and I would lose $68 of that 100. Now, most of the time, most people, if they're setting stop losses, they really only want to lose in general like 10, 15%. So that even if they lose 10% a few times, when they hit a winner, it doesn't matter. So 10% of 25. So let's just say, let's go down to, what is this at 25 even? So like even at 25 cents, we're still at about a $29 loss. So we'd have to be at 25, say 20. That gets us to, oh wait, I messed it up, 25.20. that would get us to a 20%. So that doesn't give us much wiggle room. You know, we got into this trade at 25.73. If it ran down to 25.20, it would get liquidated and we would lose 21 of our $100. Now, on the flip side, when you're doing a bunch of technical analysis and you're looking at the charts and you're basing your trade on the probabilities of the charts, then you're not as worried about getting liquidated, because it's either going to take off and go up and you're going to cash it out fairly quickly, or it's going to go down. So there's a lot of traders, if they were just going to trade this on a short time frame, that might even put their stop loss in here at, say, you know, 0.255. Oops, that's wrong one. Go here, 0.255. So with that, you would only lose $9. That'd be about 9%. So some traders would go in, make this trade, they'd put their stop loss in at 255 and basically hope that it never came down and that they never got stopped out, which in this case, on this trade, I don't believe we would have ever gotten, you know, stopped out. And here we are, you know, it's not a huge win. We're at 4% for $4.23. But, you know, folks, if you were doing bigger numbers, like if you'd thrown $1,000 at this trade, you'd be up 30, 40 bucks. A minute ago, it was up, I think, 6%. It would have been like a $60 win. And we've been, you know, I made this trade maybe 10 minutes ago. So, you know, if you're doing this all day long as a day trader, $60 here, $100 there is significant. That's not me, though. I don't want to sit behind a computer screen all day long. And most of us got jobs and wives and husbands and families and kids and, you know, activities and stuff. And so the other reason that I created the Varnell trading system was so you guys don't have to sit behind your computer worrying all day long about what the market is doing. Like right now, I know that this thing would have to dump all the way from almost 26 cents all the way down to 21 cents before I would get liquidated. And in a perfect world, I would have another ladder in at around 21 that took me down to, say, you know, 19 cents or something along those lines, to where this thing would have to go crazy. It would have to dump down 25%. And it already has crashed from, you know, 34 cents a few days ago down to this 25 cents. So I don't foresee it dropping down. Like I said, it hasn't really been down below 20 cents in quite a while if you're looking at CoinGecko and places like that. So I'm relatively comfortable with this one. But that's why I say I learned the lesson very hard way of not putting in ladders. I've even had some situations where, like, say this trade, I've had a trade like this where all of a sudden it goes up to 30, 32, 34 cents. I'm up 200% on it. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that ladder because it's wasted money. Like, I could be using that money on another trade, or I could go buy something with that money that's, you know, sitting down there protecting this trade. It's up 200%. How can I lose? And then, man, I take the ladder trades and the backup trades away. And then tomorrow or the next day or a week from now, we have a dump like we did a couple of days ago on February 2nd. And all of a sudden, my $100 is gone. Now, granted, losing the 100 isn't the end of the world. But had I had those ladders in, I would have protected my trade. And then if that $200 ladder hits and then the $400 ladder hits and I don't get stopped out of the trade, now when it goes back up, can you imagine, folks, like if I would have had a trade in a week ago at 25 and then one at 23 and then one at, you know, 21 and then down at, like, say, 19, all four of those trades would have hit. But if you go look at the chart, let's go back over here to CoinGecko. I don't think you can see how fast this happened, but like this literally went from 22 cents. I wish I had a better, I wonder if I can do it here. Let's look at this. Let's see if I can pull this over. So this is just like on the 15-minute time frame. Let me see if I can switch this over here real quick to, that's one thing that I haven't basically, oh, here we go. Let's click this over to the 1 day. I just need to practice on this. So if you look at the 1 day chart here, you can see like this wick here where it dropped down to the 17.95, and this was back on February 3rd, or back when we had this dip. So been a couple of days or a day. So when this thing dropped all the way down here, look at how fast it went back up. I mean, it was literally a matter of minutes, and I would spread this out a little bit further so you can see, but it literally, this is February 25th. Yeah. So this was February 25th. What's the date today? That doesn't make it. Or February 3rd. This is, what is today? February 4th. Yeah. So this was just, I was thinking it was a couple of days ago that it had this crazy dip. Now this might be a different chart, but my point is, if it does have one of these dips, it usually comes back fairly quickly. So if we go over here off of HBAR and let's look at say ADA. ADA is another one that had a massive crash. So ADA, you can see here, look at this. It went all the way down, to like 49 cents. And then it popped all the way back up. It's at 75 cents. But in general, you can see here that it was down. If you look at CoinGecko and go over here, it's a little bit different chart. But if you go to CoinGecko here, we can see, if we go on the 7-day here, you can see where it dropped all the way down here to 60 cents. But look how quickly. So this is showing at 117, or excuse me, it looks like 2001 Mountain Standard Time. And then if we just go here to this here, we're looking at 4:08 Mountain Standard Time on the 3rd. This happened at 20, which is basically 20 is 8 p.m. at night. This happened at 8 p.m. at night on February 2nd. And then here at 1 p.m. on February 23rd, it was all the way back up to 71 cents. So had we had some ladders in and we caught this dump and our ladders saved our trade, we would already be back up into some massive profit. The other thing that is really important is, like, on a day like February 2nd, if you were around and you saw this happen, this would have been an amazing time to get in here on BYDFi and place some trades. So looks like we have a question here from John. So John says, how much of a stop loss do you use? Well, in my case, John, let's go back over here and then go, over here to this trade. So what I do instead of a stop loss, John, is I do ladder trades. So I don't want to do a stop loss because more often than not, you're going to get stopped out. So by not doing a stop loss and doing the ladders, I allow myself a big cushion. So like we were just saying here, like I got into this HBAR trade. Let's go back over to the HBAR chart, since that's the one that we placed the trade on. So we got into this trade here on HBAR. And let's go back over here to, I like that 15-minute candle. And let's make it a little smaller here, make it look a little whatever. So you can see here on this trade, we got into this trade here at 25,730. Our liquidation is 23,428. But we were saying that if you only wanted to lose 10% of your funds, so if you only wanted to put $10 of your 100 at risk, you would have had to set your stop loss at 25.55, or 25.50 or 25.55. So from 25.73 to 25.5 is only 23 tenths of a cent or whatever. And you can see this thing's fluctuating, like crazy. So let's just go, so like, look right here. If you go here on this candle, it was at 26.75. And then on this candle, it was down to 25.83. So if you would have done this here at 26.75, you would have got stopped out here on this candle. And then the same thing, even right here, like if you somehow managed to, you got your trade in here at 26.166, then boom, when this happened right here at 25.8, you would have probably got stopped out again. So you would literally have, you'd be in there and you would have traded 2 or 3 times. And all of those times you would have got stopped out because this thing hasn't really headed to the upside. So if we go over here again and look at Bitcoin, remember, Bitcoin is sitting here at 98,845. And I believe after doing some due diligence this morning that there's a reasonable possibility that we're going to see this break back up above 100. And once again, there's a bunch of shorts that will get liquidated at around 102. So if Bitcoin does run up to 102, then we're going to see a liquidation event, and you might see a spike of Bitcoin up, 103, 104, 105,000. If Bitcoin runs from this 98,000 back to 105, I expect that HBAR will run probably back up into the 30 to 34 cent range. Now, I'm probably not going to cash my trade out at that point, but to give you an idea, even just at 34 cents, this 100, come on, this, I swear, this keyboard, there we go. Look at that. That'd be $327 profit. And that's basically, in one day. I'm looking at that move and expecting it to happen hopefully by, later today. So this $100 trade is potentially going to make me $327. But if I'm wrong and it starts to come down, I don't want to have a stop loss in place. I just want to have something that keeps me from getting liquidated. So the way that I avoid getting liquidated is I'd go down to this yellow number here, this 23428. And I go in and I place a new buy order, and you see here 23475. So this 23475 trade, in a sense, is my stop loss. So instead of just putting in a physical stop loss, getting stopped out of the trade, having to start all over and redo the trade, the other thing that'll happen too is look at how many times, like look right here on this candle. Let's say that you had put something in here and it started running up, you didn't sell it, and then all of a sudden this happens and you got stopped out. Well, look at this. It's all the way back up very quickly, back up to here. So the money that you lost when it got stopped out is gone though. But if you would have been in a position where you just watched this and let it ride, then you wouldn't get stopped out and have to make new trades. You wouldn't lose that 10% a couple, 2 or 3 times before you hit the trade where it really took off. And once again, like if this comes down to 23,475 and I get another 200 in at that price, to me, that's kind of like dollar cost averaging. So if you're excited about a token at $1 and then you buy a little bit of it and then it runs down to 90 cents, you should be even more excited about that token. And if you dollar cost average into it, now your cost in it's 95 cents. Let's say that it runs down to 80 cents. You buy a little bit more, it runs down to 75 cents. Now you've got this position at a much lower price, and you've got more tokens than you did originally. So when it starts to go back up, you don't need it to go anywhere near as high in order to be in profit, and you have more money. So theoretically speaking, if this thing takes off and it never goes down to 23,475, I'm happy because I'm just in the profit and I'm making money. But if it comes down to 23,475, and then let's say at that point I put in another buy order at 21-ish, it comes down to 21, and I get another 400 into it. Now I've got 700 in this at 21 cents. And once again, if we go over here to CoinGecko and we look at HBAR, you can see if you got an order in at 21 that takes it down to, a liquidation price of like 19 cents, you can see that over the last couple of months, had you had an order in that wouldn't have got liquidated at, until it was like down to 19 cents, your trade would still be in place. So even had you bought something way over here at like 32 cents, it'd be a little bit harder to have saved it down at 19 cents. But, with 5x leverage, you could have bought something at 32 and saved it even when it went down to 20. But my point is, and part of my strategy is I look at these trends and I try to determine roughly what I think the bottom is going to be. And I make sure that my ladder buys take me below what I think the bottom is going to be, so that these trades will hopefully, never end up getting stopped out. So another token that I'm pretty excited about right now is Matic, Polygon. So I guess what are POL, excuse me. So it's, POL now, but look at this at $31 or 31 cents. Go back out here for 3 months. You can see this thing way back in November was all the way down around 30 cents. So we go a little bit further out just to show you. If you go out to the 1 year, you can see down here, it literally has not been below 29, 28, 27 cents for a long, long, long time. This is all the way back a year ago, May 3rd of 2024, or excuse me, November 3rd of 2024. And if you go, and then you can see the rest of the chart there yourself, that's the low point. Right here is the low point. So I'm relatively confident that Polygon is at a pretty low bottom here. And at 31.4 cents, if I do a 10x leverage trade on it, that's a little over a 3 cent difference. So that would take it all the way down. It'd have to go all the way down to 27 cents before it got liquidated. And if I go put in a trade at 27 cents, that would take me all the way under 25 cents. It'd be down in the 24 cent range before I would have to worry about Polygon getting liquidated. But look at this. Polygon was just December 7th, was sitting at 71 cents. So let's go do it. In fact, let's just go place a trade, give you guys a little bit more of an idea. I'll do it here for you, one more time. So we come over here, we go and find POL, P-O-L. We're going to do this here. And then we got to transfer some more money over. So we're going to hit that transfer button. We got 297 left. So we're just going to do all. We'll just get all 297. Or actually, I like to do it one at a time. That way it's easy for me. I don't have to do the percentages. So we're just going to do $100 on the first trade, and then we'll do $200 on the second trade. So now we got Polygon pulled up here. It's at 31.39. We'll click that. We'll double check that it's on the isolated, which it is. And we're just going to do 100%. We're going to hit long. We're going to confirm. And boom, it executed, or no, excuse me, it hasn't executed yet. So it must be slightly higher. Yeah, so it's at 31.43 and our buy order is in at 31.39. So we do run the risk of, if it just starts heading back up, our trade won't execute, but there's a pretty good chance. It seems like more often than not that it pops down and our trade will come into play. It's at 31.40, and then any second now this drops down to 31.39, and all of a sudden this orders will change from 2 to 1, and this positions will change from 1 to 2. There we go. Nope, stopping at 31.40. We need it to click down to 30. There we go. Boom. So now you can see this is orders 1. We go over here, positions 2. Or wait, what? That's weird. Our orders went to 1 and our positions stayed at 1. Let me refresh this screen. We should have a second position here. It should be showing our Polygon. There it goes. So here's our Polygon trade. So we're in 100, and now look at this, John. We got in it at 31.39. Our liquidation is 28.48. So I'm going to go down to 28.60, and I'm going to do this other 200. So I'm going to pop over here, going to deposit that 197 into my futures account. You can see just popped up here, and now we're going to go down to, what did I say? 28.48. 48, so we'll go to 22.75. I just seem to like 7.5, so we'll go to 28.75 to make sure that we're you know, a little bit above this 28.48, and then we're just going to slide this over and hit long, and boom, just like that, we've got 2 trades in place, and we've got 2 backup trades. And once again, I recommend, if you're doing this off the stream, that you go in and do a couple more backup trades. Like in general, if you really want to like set it and forget it, if you do the initial trade and then you do 3 or 4 backup trades, like you're golden. It'd be very, very hard for things to reverse, especially since we're kind of catching them at this lower point. Part of this, like Danny says right here, you know, one thing with crypto is that it's a game of patience. So you don't want to employ these strategies when we just had a big pump. You know, Bitcoin runs back up to 108 and, you know, Matic is at 70 cents. That might not be the best time to throw another long in on Matic. And if you were gonna, maybe you throw it in at 5%. Leverage or even 3% leverage, you can still make some incredible money even on 3x and 5x leverage, folks, and be, you know, protected that much easier. So that's really kind of the Varnell trading system in a nutshell, folks. You go find tokens that you believe are bottomed out or close to it. I use CoinGecko. You know, another one that I do want to get some money in on. I know that everybody's got their own opinion on Polkadot. A lot of people don't think it's going to do anything significant during this bull run. I tend to disagree. I think that this could still be, you know, a $25, $50, $75 token when we really hit altcoin season. I've always liked Polkadot. I've got a decent amount of Polkadot and some of the other tokens in the Polkadot ecosystem. But if you're just looking at it from a straight leverage situation, if you look at this 1-year chart, you'll see here that a couple of times Polkadot dipped down to around this $3.75 range. Once again, look at how long it stayed there, though. This was November 5th. It was at $3.85. If we just go to this first little peak here, by November 12th, less than a week later, it was $5.36. From $3.85 to $5.36 with if you're using, you know, 10x leverage. So 10% of $4 is 40 cents. So to go from $4 to $5.36 is over $1.20. So that means this thing was up over 30% in that week. And with 10x leverage, that would be up over 300%. So a $100 trade would have put you at $300 in profit in just a few days. And then had you held all the way until, you know, December 7th, like literally, that's so crazy. December 7th and then, you know, from like November 4th. So just over a month, it went from $3.75 to $10. So that's over a 300% gain times 10x leverage would be a 30x. So if you would have thrown a $100 trade in, like I'm teaching you to today, when this bottomed out at $3.85, in a little over a month, you would have turned $100 into $3,000. Well, look at this. Yeah, it's up at, you know, it's where is it at right now? 481. So could it go lower? Absolutely. But, you know, how much? Once again, if you do the math, folks, 10% of 481 is 48 cents. So call it 50 cents for even math. That means your first ladder would be down at about $4.30. And then your second ladder, 43 cents. So $4.30, 10% of that is 4.30 or 43 cents. So 43 from, what did I just say? We were at 4.30. So from 4.30 minus 43, that takes you all the way down to about $3.90 something cents. So if you were to throw a $100 trade in on Polkadot and then a $200 trade in, you know, or excuse me, you would throw the first 100 in at the price that it's at right now, 481. You'd throw another 200 in at around 430-ish, and then you would throw a $400 trade in at around $4, say, just in that ballpark, that would take you all the way down to $3.60 liquidation price. And like, go try to find the last time it was at $3.60. Like, if we do this max chart here, like, I think somewhere back here during the last bull market, here we go, like $3.66 on October 18th of 2023. So to me, the odds of this thing going lower than this 366 to me is relatively slim. The risk versus the reward, in my opinion, is very much there. The other thing that I'll say is, if you have more money, then if this thing dropped from 480 to 430 and your second trade hit, and then it goes from 430 down to, $4, and your next trade hit, now you're down, say you see that your liquidation price is 365. By then you've probably had a couple of weeks. It didn't just go from 480 down to down to $4 overnight, probably. Like, you probably had a few days time. So all you had to do was transfer some more money over to your BYDFi account, and you could go place another trade in at, say, 470, or excuse me, 370. But 370 minus 10% is still 37 cents, which takes you all the way down to like $3.33. And as you can see here, at no point in time, and you got to go all the way back, maybe go all the way back to August of 2020 to get kind of below that $3 range. Look right here. I mean, like, this is back on, it was $2.84 way back in 2020. So my point is, I think this is a fantastic token to do this with, and I'm going to do it with this token. The other reason, like I said, that I love this token is when it runs up, it feels like it really, let me go, why is this 7-day chart? Yeah, when it runs up, you can see here, well, we have to do the 3-month. When it runs up pretty good, just up over 10. So all the way down here at around, $4.80. And you could have got in, like, if you was paying attention, back on February 2nd, you could have got in on this thing at a little bit lower price. Not much. I think it bottomed out pretty close to where it's at today, slightly lower, but not much. Anyways, so Polkadot is another one. I need to get some more funds into my BYDFi account so that I can do, everything that I want to do. With that, folks, man, we've been going for almost an hour and a half. I'm kind of curious to see what YouTube is telling me. I'm going to pop over here to YouTube and let me actually get rid of the volume. Go to YouTube and refresh this. So, folks, I am seeing 18 likes. Unfortunately, it doesn't show me exactly how many views we are at. So I don't know I don't know if we should be at more than 18 likes or not. I mean, I go through and look at all of the different people that are posting Inner Circle. If you go through and look at every single individual that has hit hashtag Inner Circle, let's see what we got here. I'm going to go over to the giveaway. So it's showing me we got 107 entries. And from what I figured out, I don't think that this allows, you only get one entry per time that you hit Inner Circle. So I don't believe that, 18 likes is nowhere near enough for 100 people to have been on this live stream at some point in time. Obviously not everybody stayed on for the whole time, but this is kind of what I'm, trying to give you guys the insight on, that we got 100 people typed in Inner Circle and we got 18 people that have hit the like button. So folks, let's go hit that like button. If you're still on the stream and you haven't hit the like button, please go smash the like button. I was going to do a $50 giveaway if we got to 50 likes, and I thought that was going to be pretty doable. But so far, we're not even halfway. Let's see if we can get up to 25 likes though, and then we'll go from there. Let me get back over here to the StreamYard page real quick and just kind of go through the chat again. Does anybody have any more questions at all about this strategy? So once again, I really like these two trades. I think that these are going to do well. You can see here already, like we're up 12% on HBAR. We're up 7% on Polygon just that quick. If Bitcoin runs up to 100 plus today or in the next, day or two or whatever, we should be up 100% on these trades relatively quickly, which gives me, one more thing that I want to mention. I do talk about leaving these trades in play long term. So we'll do the same thing like with Polygon. If you look at this take profit stop loss, we all know that Polygon was around a $3 token during the last bull market. If this thing goes up to $3, my $100 is going to turn into $8,500, folks. That's an 85x, where you're only getting, about a little less than a 10x. If it goes from 31 cents, 32 cents up to $3, you would turn $100 into maybe $1,000. And here you're turning it into $8,500. There's a lot of people, and in my opinion, I agree with them, that when this thing really takes off, when Bitcoin's 150, Bitcoin's 200, and we really have altcoin season, there's no reason Polygon couldn't be a $7, $10, $15 token. But let's just say that it only got to $7 would turn this into a $21,174, folks. So this little $100 trade that I just put in place, if I can keep it in play for the next 2, 3, 4 months until Bitcoin really crushes it off, I could literally turn this $100 into 20 grand. And that's why I believe that this is an opportunity for us to take these strategies and employ them. So let's seriously, if money is an issue, do $25. So if you did $25, you would only make about $5 grand on this trade. But how often have any of you ever in your whole life turned $25 into $5 grand? Me neither. Well, I mean, I had one token. I had a token that $50 worth of it turned into $5 grand twice, and it turned into 20,000 once. So it's not impossible, but it was a private sale where I got in on a seed round. And then when it launched, it did, 400 or 500 all the way up to as much as 1,000x. But in general, I've done some 100x's and I've done pretty well in some situations, but for the most part, the odds of you putting 25 into something and having it turn into $5 grand are relatively slim. But if you look at a token, the other thing I love about this strategy is, tomorrow we're going to go to the microcap gem strategy, and I love those too. But how cool is it to take a token like Matic that is going to be around for decades to come, most likely? I mean, nothing's impossible. I guess it, could go out of business, but I think at this point, it's pretty safe to say that Matic is going to be worth more money in 6 months from now than it is today, and in 10 years from now, and so on and so forth. Whereas some of these microcap gem tokens that we are investing in will go to zero. I warn every single one of you on every Wednesday live stream, don't invest money that you can't afford to lose on these microcap gems, because some of them are going to go to zero. We're looking for the future Microsofts and Amazons and Starbucks and Dell Computers. But the fact of the matter is, folks, back in the 90s, when Amazon and Microsoft and all of those companies went public, there was thousands of companies that went public at the same time. The dot-com, the 90s dot-com boom, 95 or more % of those companies went out of business. So if you were investing in those stocks back then, you would have probably lost all of your money 9 out of 10 times. But the 10th time, when you had bought some Microsoft and it literally did several thousand X, there was people that turned $1,000, $500, $2,000 into millions of dollars in Microsoft. So it's not, with those microcaps, it's risky, yet it's not risky in a sense. If you continue to invest in the right ones and do your research, you're going to hit some big winners. But with these tokens, Matic's not going anywhere. HBAR's not going anywhere. Polkadot's not going anywhere. XRP is not going anywhere. XRP is another one that I really want to get some trades in on. So let me see where XRP is. And just for the fun of it, see if you guys are still listening. What do you guys think XRP is going to be worth at the peak of this market, whenever that happens? So like sometime in the next 3 to 6 months to a year, I think we're going to see the peak of this market. But where do you guys see XRP getting to in this bull market? Where do you think it's going to peak? You think it's going to get to $5? You think it's going to get to $10? You think it's going to get to $20? How much do you think XRP is going to be worth during this bull run? I'm curious to see what you guys think. Thank you, Tim. Appreciate you, brother. Oop, there we go. Thank you. And, appreciate all of you that are hitting that like button. And, each and every one of you are a big part of this channel and its success. So for all of you that hit the like button, I do appreciate you. Yeah, man, we're up over 26 likes now. I appreciate that. Let's shoot for 50 tomorrow on the Microcap Gem live stream. Let's shoot for 50 likes. I'm going to try to get you guys used to, soon as the live stream starts, the first thing that you do before you even hit hashtag inner circle is go and hit that, like button. One other quick question. Is there anybody here that is went to the Real Infinite Crypto website and got their free month on the Inner Circle? If you haven't gone and gotten your free month of the Inner Circle, man, please go do that. Some of you guys should definitely be in this group. There's a lot of you that ask a lot of incredible questions, and I can tell that you're very strategic and that you're very educated in the crypto space. We would love to have you in the Inner Circle. So we've got John says $12. John says $12 by November. Samuel says $10. I know a couple of streams ago, there was a couple of guys that were thinking 15 or 20. And I'm kind of in that $15 to $20 camp myself. We shall see where we are at. But yeah, I like what Tim says, depends on the manipulation. XRP can go anywhere from 7 to 8 to as high as 12 to 20. Yep, I agree. I think potentially that it's going to end up on the higher range of that because of the utility and all of the things that are taking place. So you can see here, just wanted to, take a quick peek at this chart. So you can see XRP is sitting about $2.63. Run back over to CoinGecko. Man, I still can't get used to how fast this computer is compared to my old one. Holy smoke. So if we go to XRP here, you can see that it had a pretty crazy decline, considering if we go over here to the 3-month chart, that this thing was all the way up over $3 and it dropped all the way down, 220, 230, 240, somewhere in that ballpark. It's already bounced up, to 263. So had you thrown in one of these orders a couple of days ago. So that's the other thing that I want you guys to get used to. When you see these bloody days where everything is just crashing and it's down 20, 25, 30% in one day, I want you to get used to going over to your computer and at least considering throwing a trade in on something like this, or even buying some spot. Like if you want to shy away from the trading, I understand some of you are watching this and you're enjoying the information, but you still may never do one of these trades. But if you're one of the guys that is likes this idea, these days that we have where we get these 20 or 30% capitulations in the altcoins are just massive buying opportunities. And even if you want to do shorter term, I would still back the trades up in case they go a little bit lower. But there's nothing wrong with, having your long-term trades that you're planning on, you're going to let your Matic trade run until it's worth 5, 10, 20 grand. There's nothing wrong with also coming in and just throwing 500 at Matic when it has a 20 or 30% drop. And then when the thing just goes, Matic runs from 32 cents just back up to 40, 50 cents. You could turn a $500 bill into a couple thousand fairly quickly. And there's nothing wrong then with cashing that trade out and just, going and buying spot or getting ready for some other trades. And then that reminded me, the other thing that I wanted to mention is if you take this trade here, so you can see these two trades, they're up now 15% and 11%. So literally look at that. Had we thrown $1,000 at these, we'd be up $160 and $110. We could have made $270 for the day in less than an hour. And that's pretty powerful too. But for me, that's part of the reason I'm using smaller numbers. Like if I was throwing 1,000 at these trades, 5,000 at these trades, I'd probably be more inclined to cash out a little bit sooner myself. And that's one of the reasons that I almost purposefully do a smaller trade. Now, remember, if you've got multiple email addresses, you can click my link and create, 2 or 3 accounts, and you could have one account where you have all of your long-term trades. You could have an account where you do like your swing trades. I also know a lot of people, like if you want to do 25, 50, 100x leverage sometimes, I would caution you. I know that most people doing 25, 50, 100x leverage are losing, but I also have seen, I've got a couple of traders that have actually, that have just been absolutely smashing it. One guy that deposited a couple $1,000 and then he's withdrawn like 27 grand. And I know that he's probably doing a little bit higher leverage trades, and he's swing trading, because I can tell by the volume that he's not just placing a trade and letting it sit here for months, because the way that his volume continues to go up every time he closes out a trade, that counts as volume. And so, that's, so there's multiple ways to play this game. You don't have to do just these trades. There's a lot of different ways that you can do it. But what I was going to say here is, let's say that you wake up tomorrow and let's say that these trades were worth there was $100 in profit on these trades each. If I wanted to, what some people do is they raise their stop loss up to break even, which is fine. But the other thing that you can do if you want to guarantee that you can't lose is you can go over here and you can close these out with a market or limit order. Let's just do a market. I'm not going to actually do it, but literally all you have to do is hit this 50% button and you'll see that my profit is roughly half. So if I wanted to pull out, half of my money, I could do that and I would still have half of this trade in place. You could do a 25%, 10%, whatever floats your boat, but there's nothing wrong. Just like when you buy into a microcap gem and it goes up 2 or 3x and you sell a little bit of it, pull out your initial profit, and now you've got a moon bag that you're free rolling on. There's nothing wrong with doing that with these trades either. So, dude, Samuel, I don't know what it was like for you guys when you were watching, but I'm telling you, as the guy sitting here behind the computer screen, it was horrifying. Especially watch this, Samuel. I'm gonna go over here and we're gonna think about drawing winners. But remember when I went to pull up my YouTube channel, how slow it was? Watch this. I mean, it still takes a couple seconds. But compared to when we were doing this, every time I got to the end of the stream and I had to show people what they had to do to win, it was crazy. So I'll kind of show you guys now. This is my channel. Here is my about section. You can go in and you can edit this section. So for those of you that win the drawing today, if you don't have a Bydfi account already, you're going to want to go into the description of this video or all the way back up to the very top of this chat, this live stream chat. I posted the channel or the link there, and it should be a hyperlink. But either way, you're going to want to go create your free Bydfi account, and then you're going to want to put it in your bio. And then I want to, this is the stream from today. So let's get this pulled up. And then let me get over here and pop that off. But what we're going to do when we do the drawing so that nobody can scam is you're going to type in here that you want to do the drawing. I'll just show you guys how this works. Well, like if I click on Samuel's name here, see how it brings up this box and I can hit go to channel? When I go to channel, this brings up Samuel's about. And then because he's been watching the channel for a while, what? Samuel, you don't even have your BUIDFI number in there? Oh, I'm disappointed, buddy. As many times as you've been on the stream, I thought for sure you would have your BUIDFI in there, but you're going to go to this about, and you're going to put your BUIDFI unique user ID number in your profile, and that's how we guarantee that there ain't any scammers getting in on this. So with that, folks, let's go do the drawing. Let me see here. I'm going to go click on John Lopez's. I want to find somebody that's actually got this in there. There we go. This is what it's supposed to look like, Samuel. So BUIDFI user ID, it's a string of whatever 15 numbers. You can see here, they're up to about 109 now. So John obviously got this situated way back when I first started talking about BUIDFI, because if you go sign up today, this first 3 digits of your number is going to be a 109 number probably. But anyways, let's go find the winners. I guess the dogs are excited about the winners too. Come on, you guys. We don't need all that racket. So for those of you, let's hit the draw button. We're gonna do. So I'm still gonna do 2 winners. I hate to only give away 25 bucks. I would have liked to have seen 50 likes, and I'd like to see 50 likes tomorrow. So let's get her done tomorrow. Let's get up to at least 50. And then we're gonna do, you know, hopefully do some giveaways tomorrow. But today we're gonna do another $50 in giveaway. 2 people are gonna win 25 bucks. Let's see who they are. I don't like that. Let's hide that. We don't need that. And let's draw. Get my pen and paper handy just so I can remember for sure who's winning here. Oh, Samuel, you were so close, buddy. Oh, that's gotta hurt. We got Check, C-H-E-C-K, Check. If you are still in the YouTube channel, please make a message. Let us know that you are here. And then let's go ahead and draw the second number. A Leah. Or Leei, A-A-A-L-E-E-I. You are the other winner. So we've got, let me pop over here back to the YouTube. And we've got Check is here. So I'm going to click there. I'm going to go to your channel, Check. So now you definitely, nobody can try to scam you. Somebody else that's prepared or ready to go already has it there. I love to see that. So congratulations. When this live stream is over, I will try to get that to you. Hopefully my BUIDFI isn't giving me too much trouble. I'm a little worried that Lloyd, I don't know if it was something that Lloyd did on his end that kept him from getting paid, if there's something going on with my BUIDFI account. So please, if you are a winner, be patient with me. I will get it fixed. There's no reason that I should have to KYC in order to send you guys the funds. So because BUIDFI is a sponsor of the channel, I have support in my back pocket. So if for some reason I'm having trouble sending these funds, I'll get in touch with BUIDFI support. I'll get it fixed. And I promise you, you're going to get your money. I don't know 100% sure when, but I'll go into the comment section. Like if you want to make a comment in the regular comments of these videos, I will definitely get your money to you. Dude, you drive me crazy. Lloyd, dude, I've been on a live stream for the last 2 hours. How in the world would I have sent you your money while I was on the live stream? Can you explain that to me, Lloyd? Please go into the chat and explain to me how in the world I could have sent you your money in the last couple of hours that I've been on this live stream. So is the other winner in there? You didn't win 100. You won 25 bucks, Lloyd. It was a $100 giveaway. 4 people won $25. Okay, let's go back over here to the YouTube channel and see if AAL Lee AI was still there. Let me see. Yeah, you won $25. Check. I'm not seeing. There we go. There's a AAA Lee I. Go to our YouTube channel. So I've got you pulled up, and beautiful. You got your BYDFi number there too. So once again, folks, once this stream is over, I will go try to get everything situated. Believe me, I'm going to try to get Lloyd paid as quick as possible because he's ridiculous. Like, yeah, I know. Thank you, Brad. Waiting on your reward. You're almost ready to get kicked out of the channel and not get your reward, but I'm not that mean. But Woo-saw. Remind me of the Bad Boys movie, the Woo-saw part. All right, let's get back here to full screen and wrap this thing up. I appreciate each and every one of you. We did get going for almost 2 hours. I do have a Zoom, so let me tell you guys this ahead of time. I've got an appointment at 12 o'clock for a Zoom that I have to be on. So Lloyd and Check and AALEEI, you're probably not going to see your funds for at least an hour or so. Depending on how long it takes BYDFi account to get me squared away, it could be a little bit longer, but I promise you, keep checking back sometime today. You should see it there. And once again, if you put a comment in just the regular, like after, not this live stream, but if you just put a comment in the regular YouTube video, once I've paid you, I will go in on your comment and let you know you've been paid so that you get the notification. So with that, Eric Bernstein's laughing. Yeah, it is. It's so funny. It almost makes me want to cry, Eric. All right, you guys, have a fantastic day. I love you all. God bless you all. And we will see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for our Microcap Gem live stream. Until then, have a fantastic rest of your day. Take care. Bye-bye for now.